Greetings, YouTube neighbors. So I'm doing my 3-year review of my STIHL MS 462 Charlie. So I actually had a 300 series before this chainsaw. Just a little FYI on what I use it for. I'm not a commercial logger. I actually did used to cut pulpwood with my dad for a paper mill, but I haven't done that for years now. I bought this machine basically to help me with my wood boiler on the property. So I had a wood boiler burning about 10 cords of wood a year. I cut most of the wood on the property. Some of it I did get from other places, but it was mainly meant to be just a farm tool. Since then, about a year ago, I actually sold my wood boiler, and thus my wood requirement has plummeted. I still do use this machine quite a bit, but it's not for the heavy duty intended use it's actually made for. So like I said, I bought this about 3 years ago. I was cutting more than 10 cords a year because I was always prepping for the following year. That's why I have so much wood still sitting here that was all prepped. I know that the year I bought this was my most valuable tool on the property. We had several big storms come through the property. We also had a small beaver infestation that took down a bunch of trees by my creek, and I had to go clean them out. And a tractor with that type of work will only go so far. You really have to have a chainsaw to cut those logs off, to get the down trees all the way down so they're actually safe. And that's where this came in. So I have it with a 24-inch steel bar. I also have a 36. The 36 doesn't get used very much because I just have some cottonwoods on here. You need a bar that big to get all the way through them. I'm a big fan of the 24 on this. Doesn't buck too bad. It's also nice for me being I'm 6 foot tall, and basically I can stand here and not have to bend over and can limb things on the ground with a 24-inch bar like this. So overall, design, the engineering part of this is awesome. It's been incredibly reliable for me. Generally 3-pull start. I don't know why that's the magic number. It's not normally a one pull machine, but it's really worked good for me. Now the choke on this one is a little different than what I've seen before. So it wants to sit in that run position, and what you can do is you press the throttle, pull that down, and then it'll stay there. And as soon as I hit the throttle, it pops it back. So when you start it, you let it sit like that for a little bit, get up to running speed, pull the throttle just a little bit, it pulls the choke off for you. And then another nice little silly feature is when you go to stop it, it automatically comes back to run again. So you stop it real quick, you finish what you're going to do with the chainsaw off, and then it's quick to start back up again. And in that case, when it's already warm and running, it's always been a 1-pull start machine for me. There has been parts during this machine's life that I've let it sit for probably 2 to 3 months at a time. Never been a problem. Never had fuel go bad. Never had an issue with it. Now it's pretty hard to see through the camera. I'm going to do my best here to show you how much basically of the chain I wore away. I have 2 chains for the 24-inch, 1 chain for the 36. 1 chain for the 24, completely destroyed. It's completely destroyed because this saw has just outlived it and beat it into a pulp where you can no longer see the guide mark on the individual teeth on the chain. Does great. I actually do need to go buy a new chain for this thing because it's been working so good. Now STIHL, when they sell you these, they give you a tiny set of dogs with this thing. And I believe I made a video on that first when I got this thing. The dogs they sell with or some people call them tree spikes, they sell with this, it's lousy. It's kind of a gimmick. It needs real felling spikes, especially with the machine this powerful and strong. Frankly, they're a safety issue because when this thing bucks, if the tree spike is in it, you have better leverage to keep it under control. Where the smaller the spike, the less contact you're actually making with the tree, the more it's going to want to kick on you when you hit something with it. So that's something, and I mean, everybody makes an aftermarket one of these. You're talking $20, $30. You fix the problem when you buy it. I just think for the price you're paying for one of these brand new, and I'm certain the price has gone up since I bought it, they need to sell it with it. It's all there is to it. It's unacceptable. They shouldn't be doing that. The only other modification I made is I put a bark box on the front. And that's basically to give it the lower end torque I was hoping for. Because very frequently I would start this with the chain sitting on the machine, just pull the gas, let it run through. It would do it, it just wouldn't do it as well as I wanted. And so when I looked up the bark box, it was going to modify the saw in such a way that I believed I was going to get that low end power, and frankly it did work. It's a great machine. You can see some of these cottonwoods here, absolutely massive, and this is the normal stuff I was working on. There is definitely bigger ones that none of my tractors could even lift. I had to drag them, and I basically left them where they were because I didn't want to ruin my trails dragging, a 2-ton log across the property. So from that perspective, it's been really good. And I could go out and chainsaw them. I just don't even see the value because I'm not going to burn them. I got to find somebody else to come take this stuff. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to fire this thing up for you. I haven't started it yet today. I think last time I ran it was a week or two ago. Just give you a general idea of what does this thing sound like. And I'm going to cut some of this little stuff. Nothing too fancy, but I just wanted to give that further review. I'm all geared up. I got my hearing protection in, got my glasses on, and I got my gloves on. So again, like I said, you got to push the trigger all the way down, put the choke on. You actually let the trigger up. It'll remain in the choke position for you, and you give it a few tugs. Just to give you a small demonstration, I turned it off real quick. I'm going to pick up this log. Give this a quick move. Just so it's a better spot for me to saw. So I just turned it off. Again, it went right back to the run position. Starts first pull. I'm not going to do a ton more sawing for you. I think there's plenty of other channels too. You're probably watching multiple reviews. They can really go in deep. I just wanted to give a general overview. Showing you it's as easy to use as I'm saying. It's one of the simplest machines I have on the property. I really don't think you can go wrong. The one reason this saw is probably not for me anymore is I'm just not cutting like I used to. This is a seriously expensive saw. And for how much I'm using it and just for tipping over small stuff, probably isn't right for me. But I've really appreciated it. I also have no complaints. The day I bought it, this was the right machine for that moment. If I were to go back in time, I would absolutely buy this again. I've had friends use this thing too. Partly why you didn't see it cut that well is two reasons. I just haven't sharpened this real recently. And this chain is it's getting near the end of life. In my experience, they just don't cut as good as you get toward the end of the blades on the chain. So, and then other fun, I guess, other thought, you can see on my tractor I have that saw hull there, and so this is where mostly my chainsaw sits on the tractor. That works really well. Again, I think there's a lot of ways to attach that saw hull to any machine, be it four-wheeler, truck, whatever, tractor. This tends to work really good for me. I'd really recommend it. You don't really want it in the cab. You don't want it taking up bucket space. Frankly, you don't want it on the loader anyway. If you could mount it to the back end, that's probably not such a bad deal, but this is a pretty dang good option that I've had now on multiple tractors. And frankly, I'm gonna continue that no matter what I do in the future. I am looking at going to an electric. I haven't committed, I haven't decided. I'm in no hurry to change it up. I really do want to clean up all the wood I have here. I'm gonna take you on a quick, big tour. So there's more back there. Then as I turn the other way, you can see some of my wood chip piles. All the wood chip piles used to be where wood sat, and then there's more. There's actually nice oak, 8-foot oak over there. So yeah, if this review helped you, if you appreciate anything I had to say today, please do me a favor, leave a like, leave a subscribe. I'm a really small channel. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to do weekly videos. So I'd really appreciate just a little bit of help if I've helped you at all. Until next time, I'll see you then.